Hey y'all, we're here. So I announced this in my Discord server, but I'll quickly say it now. I am going back and staggering videos for numbers like every single Kanto Pokemon change I did before Cloister, which is when I decided to start doing videos instead of writing these little text guides that I used to do. Which I will be using this as a kind of guide for the video. I will be using these for all of these old for all of these older mons that I did before. I'll be doing that. So yeah, hold on, let me just take a sip of my drink. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna be going back and recording these because it's better to do them now than to leave them until the fucking end. That would be kind of jarring to just have like, oh, I got all the way to Alola and they're doing the last of Alola, and then it's like, oh shit, now it's time to do the first 49. Like, it's just weird. So I'd rather just stagger them, especially because Kanto and Johto are kind of like rival regions almost like they're kind of one region in one big region, so it's kind of nice to be able to just do them. So I'll be staggering. So for example, oh, starter after the Johto starters, bugs after the Kanto bug video after the Johto bug videos. However, the Johto Pokemon will be new, meaning the Johto Pokemon I'll be doing those as I have to actively put those on the sheets and plan out the changes and stuff. I already had them planned, but input the changes and fully plan out the changes and flesh them out. Meanwhile, for these Cantomons, I'm literally just recording and talking, although I will be changing minor things about them as I go before I record. So if you guys are familiar with the stuff and the sheets, and you might notice some things are slightly different. In fact, if you haven't checked back in a while, you might even already notice like Grassy Guard is new on Mega Venusaur, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So, that out of the way, I hope that explains why these videos are going to be slightly out of order, dex order. Um, it's kind of quiet, or is it just me? Oh, it's my volume is kind of quiet. Hold on. That's better. So, yeah, where to start? So, Venusaur was already a very, very, very solid Pokemon. It's just it had good, well-rounded stats, bulky, good typing, but obviously this is a ROM hack, and where everything is completely reworked and everything has new life breathed into it, even the Pokemon that were good before. That's not to say that the good Pokemon are still better than the quote-unquote bad ones. Is to say that everything's on equal footing and everything feels new and fun to use. Nothing is like, oh, this is boring. This is the same as it always has been. Um, that being said, Venusaur is a pretty straightforward Pokemon. It's just a really bulky grass poison with good moves and stuff. But so we know the Kanto starters have megas. The megas will not be obtainable that early. They'll be relatively late. Probably some of the later mega stones compared to other megas. I'm not exactly sure when, but that's for a later date to decide. But this is just only to be said because this video is coming out at the beginning, so people might be thinking, oh, well, how come the Kanto starters and the Hoenn starters aren't just better than all the other starters? It's because the megas are available much later, and also the other starters are generally just better as the base forms. Not to say these guys' base forms are bad, because they are not. That's another thing I've done with Mega Evolutions, if you guys have not noticed by now, and you haven't watched other videos covering Pokemon with Megas, like Pinsir and stuff. I've made it so the pre-Mega Evolution Pokemon, like the base forms, are not worse than the megas. It's kind of like an alternative or optional upgrade that, yeah, in a lot of cases it'll be better, but not every case, because Heldidems are important. In many cases they have different abilities. Almost in every case actually they have different abilities. The typing will change, etc. So being able to hold an item and having different typings potentially and different abilities is a pretty big deal. And also some of them are genuinely have different stats. Like some of them are faster and offensive, while the Mega might be more defensive type deal. Not in this case obviously, but yeah, I think that is a good disclaimer. So, with that being said, Venusaur. Abilities are very self-explanatory. So, the whole line, well, the pre-evolutions have Solar Rush and Overgrow. All of the first two stages of starters will retain Overgrow, Blaze, and Torrent. These abilities are not bad. They're actually very, very powerful, very, very powerful abilities, especially with Endure being a reteachable TM now. It's really nice to be able to just boom, 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 reteach. Why did this lag? Oh, come on. So it's frozen. I'll just talk while it loads. But yeah, that happens sometimes when I make the first edit in a long time. Especially at the beginnings of the sheets, like the top part of the sheet, it lags like crazy when I try to edit something. Yeah, it's gonna, okay, just wait, it'll fix. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because of that. There we go, fixed. So, yeah, they are very self-explanatory abilities. Overgrow's great. It's nice to have with Endure TM. You can run an Endure set with a Pinch Berry, like a Pataya or a Salac Berry, or Lychee Berry, whatever you want to do, and get that speed or a special attack boost on top of the Overgrow boost and hit really hard. So Overgrow will be your typical ability that you'll be using, and then you'll be running Solar Rush when you have Sunsets, which are, as we all know, very, very good on Venusaur. And this is okay. Here's another big deal. Other grass poison types. There are a couple of others. There is Victory Bell, Vileplume, Amoonguss, and one more, I believe, Roserade. And I admit so all four question mark of those. Oh, sorry, and there. No. Am I? Hold on. I'll just check really quickly to make sure. Sorry, y'all. Let me just quickly go to my notes because I know I have all of them in here. Poison. Here it is. There's 5. Yeah. Okay, so I just counted wrong in my head. Venusaur, Vileplume, Amoonguss, Victory Bell, Roserade. Yep. So, I've made it so all 4 of them are very differentiated from each other, especially because originally like 2 or 3 of those had literally Venusaur, Vileplume, and Victory Bell all had, well, in that case, Chlorophyll. Now it's Solar Rush, obviously, but same ability. And that's boring. That's ridiculous. Like that's just begging to be outclassed. If there's 3 Pokemon with the exact same type and the exact same niche ability, not that Sun is a niche. A bad niche. Sometimes people associate the word niche with like bad. A lot of people do that. It's not bad. I mean, niches is filling a niche is good. That's what it should do, especially with 721 other Pokemon. If you don't fill a niche, then what are you doing? You know. But this is off topic. Point being, when I get to the other grass poisons, I'll do a very cursory comparison. So Vileplume is overall, well, Vileplume is stronger, has higher special attack and higher special defense, I believe. Okay, same special. Excuse me. Vileplume is slightly less bulky but stronger and has 2 completely different abilities and a completely different move pool. So when I get to Vileplume, I'll be talking about why it's not worse than Venusaur, purely based on the move pool and the abilities. So, and also the fact that it can have the option to, Gloom can optionally evolve into Bellossom. So, oh, that's not really an argument. That would more if it did get out. If it, say for example, if Venusaur was outclassed, and I just said that as an argument, that would be really shitty. Because it'd be like, oh yeah, well, you have another Pokemon right there, so just don't use it. It's like, well, that doesn't sell me on using it. So wait, stay tuned for the Vileplume video. We'll get there eventually. I don't want to waste time in this video talking about Vileplume, but Victory Bell also is much more offensive. Victory Bell is stronger than both of them with their abilities. And then Roserade is the fastest and most offensive of all of them. And then you got Amoonguss, which is by far like the most bulky / utility of them. And they're all different. They all have very different abilities, very different moves, all that kind of stuff, different stats. So that being said, Venusaur is extremely well-rounded. A couple of notable changes. So again, they have Overgrowth, Solar Rush, slightly different modified stats, more physical attack as a whole. The whole line has more physical attack, just because looking at their appearance, like, look at this fucking dude, bro. He's a big fucking guy. Can I get to Venusaur, please? This man is a big man, so I think he should have better physical attack. 100 base HP because he's huge and he's fat. Just sneeze, hold on. Ooh, excuse me. 80 speed was weirdly high. 65 is much more reasonable. And then besides the physical attack and HP increase and speed decrease, there's just a slight defense boost just because base out total and stuff. Although I could have done like 102 HP or something, but meh. Excuse me. I think this is fine. So yeah, you have Overgrow as pre-evolution, and then you have Solar Rush. So you have the Sunny Day TM, and what Solar Rush is, it's a chlorophyll replacement. If you guys are not familiar with this, if you're new here, hi, hello, by the way. Probably should have established that. I shouldn't assume that everybody who's watching this is a fan of mine. So yeah, Solar Rush is great. You have the Sunny Day TM early game. You also have Growth upon evolution into Venusaur, which is excellent. And extremely powerful, and you get the +2 offenses, and that has 2 PP. So most setup moves only have about, like, for example, Nasty Plot and Swords Dance only have 1 PP, but Growth in the Sun has 2 PP, so you can actually get +4 attack or special attack with Growth in the Sun. So that's a really big advantage of Growth as well. Downside being it's not reteachable as a TM, so you got to keep it on there. And of course, you need the Sun up to get the +2, the immediate +2 rather. So yeah, Venusaur is much bulkier, slightly less speed. It can still run like Scarf sets without Solar Rush, and obviously with Solar Rush, it's extremely fast. Base 65 speed with a neutral nature and max speed investment at +2 speed is extremely fast. You're not even, most of the time, you're not going to need max investment. Say, for example, you're fighting Pokemon, right? You're fighting a team, and their fastest Pokemon, let's say their fastest Pokemon is a Pidgeot, or actually, let's make it easier, Beedrill, all right, 121. All right, you got 121 base speed Beedrill right here. So you put in this, and you look at the Jolly Nature or whatever on that, and that hits 375. So then going back to Venusaur, you need to hit 376 speed, which is not hard to do. You need minimal investment, so 376. You would need probably about, yeah, even less. 94, 92, 90. Yeah, 90 speed investment is all you need to outspeed like a base 121 speed Pokemon. So obviously you can scale up. I believe you are faster than like base 160 at max speed with base 65 speed. So that's really, really great. Super, super fast, super, super strong. Hold on. Take a sec. So, this would load. Thank you. So, yeah, Solar Rush is great. Growth is great. You also have Weather Ball, which is 90 base power in the sun and has a 50% chance to drop special defense. You have Synthesis, which heals 2/3 HP in the sun by Tutor as well, Weather Ball TM by TM. And then you also gain access to Solar Blade and Solar Beam, both of which are 130 base power. So that's all great sun stuff. You guys already know what Venusaur does in the sun, all right? It's not super complicated. It's very useful. And base Venusaur is actually the sun user. Mega Venusaur gains Grassy Guard, but I'm first going to cover Floral Shroud and Thick Fat. So actually, yeah, I'll talk about Floral Shroud. So I'll talk about base Venusaur first because you get that earlier, or obviously, you don't get access to the Mega till later. So Floral Shroud is another new ability made from Flower Veil. I could have just kept the name, but a lot of people don't even know that Flower Veil even does anything to the user because all the Pokemon that get it in the main games are Fairy type, not Grass type. So just all I had to do was give it the Grass types, and now it actually has the good effect. So what that does is it prevents your side of the field from having, or any Grass types on your side of the field, having their stats lowered, or from having a status condition. So that's great. That's basically like Comatose and Clear Body and one ability. It's really, really useful, really, really nice. It's not anything overpowered. It's not a boosting ability. It's not a healing ability. Nothing ridiculous. It's just a very nice, reliable, solid ability. It's nice to not have to worry about getting hacks. It's to not worry about getting, paralyzed or burnt from a side effect of a move, or switching into a sleep move or whatever it is, and not ignoring that. That's great. It's very, very useful. And then the stat drops as well are huge because a lot of moves drop stats now, and a lot more Pokemon have Intimidate as well. So for physical Venusaur sets, especially, Floral Shroud is great. And the good thing about that is that is a pre-Mega ability, meaning you can use and abuse Floral Shroud on your Venusaur and then Mega Evolve when the time is right to gain the bulk, to gain the offensive stats, and to gain Thick Fat. But you don't need to do it right away. For example, say you're setting up and you have enough bulk to set up on your own, and then they go for a, I don't know, they send in an Intimidate Pokemon, you get the Floral Shroud, you don't get Intimidated, then you Mega Evolve and get the Thick Fat on the turn. Let's say it's like a Intimidate Pokemon with a Fire Ice type move, then you can get Thick Fat on the same turn. So you can time when you Mega Evolve, is my point. That goes for a lot of Mega Evolutions now. Again, not only are they viable as base Pokemon, and they're totally actually situationally better. Again, the Sun being only on base Venusaur, Mega Venusaur having another incredible ability that I'll get into. So that's great. All right. They have also tons of utility, but I'm gonna get into that after I talk about the abilities and the stats. I already touched on the stats. I don't think it's anything super mind-blowing. Super bulky, more HP because they're huge, more attack. Excuse me, just because look at their appearance. I mean, you should be mixed. Excuse me, mixed attacker for sure. And again, All-Star, you might be thinking, oh, well, Venusaur got a buff. All-Stars are, well, a lot of 3-stage Pokemon are 550 base stat total. The base stat total overall, I'm actually curious. By the end of the hack, I'm probably going to do like the average base stat total and just, for all fully evolved mons, and just see what it is. I'd assume it would be like 500, 515, 525 would be the average. Maybe even higher, actually. Yeah, probably higher because of all the 550s and then 600, 575. And the lowest is 480, so besides like a couple of random exceptions like Ditto and whatnot. Very off topic, sorry. So as I was saying, Floral Shroud is great. Thick Fat, super self-explanatory. Don't need to explain why that's good. It's just a nice ability. It makes you only weak to Psychic, Flying, and that's it, I believe. Just Psychic and Flying. Yep, Psychic and Flying. And you, of course, have great resistances as a grass poison. You have a 4 times resist to grass, and then Water, Electric, Fighting, and Fairy are 2 times resist, so those are very good to have. Another thing that makes base Venusaur extremely good and potentially better than Mega Venusaur is the access to Omni boosting Z moves. So Z Toxic Thread and Z Powder both give you a +1 boost to all of your stats. So not only do you have the Sun ability, and not only do you have the ability to hold an item like Assault Vest or something, or a Scarf or Choice Specs or whatever it is, you know, obviously you're always going to be, if you're being smart about the way you're playing and you're really switching your sets up with infinite ability capsules and infinite EV training and all that stuff, and you're making good use of all the TMs and the tutor moves, you can be really thorough with your sets, and you can just run the Mega when it's opportune, when it's an opportune time, and then not run the Mega when you want the, you know, the base forms traits, meaning it can hold an item, it has Solar Rush, all this good stuff. And it's not to say that base Venusaur is better than Mega Venusaur, not at all. I mean, on paper, yeah, Mega Venusaur is better. It's an upgrade. It has more bulk. It has stronger. But that's not everything in this game. You know, abilities are important. Move pool and items are important. Well, obviously move pool is the same, but Z Toxic Thread and Z Powder give you +1 on all your stats. So Z Toxic Thread gives. So again, I've changed pretty much every single move. I would assume there's like 5 moves that are unchanged or untouched. I would just assume that every move is changed. So I would check them all out. If you have not, if you are new here, hi. This Google Sheet is in the description. Discord link is in the description. You know, you can check it out there. But what this does is it lowers speed and evasion by 4. So a 2/3 drop to their speed and evasion. So you become super fast at +1 speed with the Z move and -4. And then the evasion drop is actually nice for inaccurate moves like Seed Flare, Sludge Bomb, Seed Flare, Sludge Wave, Stone Edge, that kind of thing. It's nice to Sleep Powder even. That's another great thing, is actually Sleep Powder will not miss when they have the evasion drop. So Toxic Thread's a good move to have, albeit keeping it until level, you know, I believe the Poison EMZ would probably be in the mid-50s by the time you get the Poison EMZ. So you would have to keep it for a long time, but it's still nice to have. And of course, if you're switching your team out, then you'll just keep the Bulbasaur in a box and then teach it Toxic Thread when it levels up, and then, you know, then keep it on your Venusaur. So yeah, not too much else there. Again, like physical sets really appreciate Toxic Thread boosts. So you can run like a physical or special Z Omni boosting Toxic Thread set with Power Whip and Sludge Wave or Gunk Shot or Stone Edge, all this great stuff. You have Power Whip, Sludge Wave, Gunk Shot, and Seed Flare. All are inaccurate, and Petal Blizzard are all inaccurate. 10 to... Well, they're all 10% inaccurate, all those moves. Every single one of those moves is 10% inaccurate. Stone Edge is 10% chance to miss, Power Whip 10% chance to miss. What was I saying? Gunk Shot and Sludge Wave and Petal Blizzard all are 90% accurate, so that's nice to have the evasion drop there. Otherwise, you have Z Powder, which is situationally better, and obviously better because by the time you learn that, you don't have to waste, or I would say Toxic Thread is not a waste of a move slot, but you have so many moves that you're going to want, it is kind of difficult to justify keeping it. Not that it's bad, I mean, situation, it depends on what your other teammates are. If you already have a Leech Seeder, then, you know, you don't need the Leech Seeder on the Venusaur. You already have whatever, then, you know, it's situational. There's literally 720 Pokemon and 5 teammates rather. So, excuse me. So, and there's like a billion different battles and a billion different TMs. So your moveset should be changing pretty often. So yeah, Powder, what that does is it's priority, and if the opponent is using a fire type move, the fire type move will fail, and then they will lose 25% of their HP. So you can bait a fire type move on your Venusaur, and then get them to you're essentially getting a free Omni boost that turn, in addition to dealing 25% damage to the opponent. And the best part is that you learn at a 55, so by the time you learn that, you know, you'll have the Mega Stone, so you'll have the option for Z Omni boost or Mega Stone Venusaur or any other moves, any other set. You know, again, depending on your team composition and your teammates and the battle that you're fighting, you will run different sets. You'll run physical sets for certain battles. You'll run special sets for certain battles, depending on your IVs and your EVs. I mean, there's so many variables, and there's also subjectivity. Some people prefer to play a certain way. Some people want to play more offensively. Some people want to play more defensively. You know, oh, I want to run Assault Vest sets. I want to run Solar Rush sweeping sets. You know, it depends on whatever you feel like playing. There's so many variables, so that's why everything has so many options, and that's great. So yeah, Powder and Toxic Thread are there for Omni Boost on base Venusaur. Otherwise, you have tons of great utility, but I want to talk about the other ability on Mega Venusaur first. So The other ability being Grassy Guard, and what that does is it gives Mega Venusaur a 50% boost to its physical defense in grassy terrain. And obviously grassy terrain in Gen 7 also gives 50% boost to Grass Stab. It's really good. You get a little bit of residual healing each turn, nothing huge, but you do get the healing. And then you get you also have Earthquake, which is nice on top of the defense boost, so you'll really be tanking Earthquakes, neutral Earthquakes on your, as Venusaur. I mean, obviously, you can just run Stomping Tantrum or Bulldoze for ground coverage if you need it, physical ground coverage, especially of Earth Power. So that's really nice to take advantage of. And the Grassy Guard boost, oh man, it is bulky. So 100 HP, 123 bulk. On top of Grassy Guard, you can run 0 defense investment. I'll literally show you guys how strong, even with 0 defense investment, this becomes. With the neutral nature 0 defense investment at +1 defense. You're at 423 base defense, and then again you're getting the 115 and 124 offenses with the 50% boost to your Grass Stab. So it's great. Grassy Guard is fucking awesome. I love how well it fits on Mega Venusaur as well, and it also keeps it up to par with the other two Kanto starter Megas, who are on paper a lot more like offensive Unga Bunga, do damage, but yeah, Mega Venusaur, it definitely holds a candle to them for sure. Not that it didn't before. I mean, I believe Mega Venusaur was technically better than Mega Blastoise in Gen 7 competitive. So not that this is competitive, totally different atmosphere. But yeah, my point is that Grassy Guard is really useful, and Grassy Terrain is now a TM that many Pokemon learn. A lot of bug types, a lot of grass types, a lot of other Pokemon learn Grassy Terrain as their TM, and so you can just swap that on and off. You can also run a Grassy Surge teammate with Terrain Extender. Or you can just run Mega Venusaur with Grassy Terrain without the Terrain Extender and just get the, click it first turn, get the Leech Seed, whatever. And you can, another great thing you can do is you have access to Ingrain. So what Ingrain is it's essentially a Calm Mind, but different. So what it does is it gives you the healing effect and it forces you to stay in the battle, which is a downside. It locks you in, but you have 3 uses. The Z effect is +2 defense. So if you use Z Ingrain, you get a Calm Mind boost and a +2 defense boost, and your speed will drop by 5, which is logical because you're rooting into the ground. You shouldn't be moving quickly anymore. So yeah, you get the healing, you get the trapping. Well, it traps you on battle, but on the field rather. Excuse me. So that's just really nice to have. I already talked about growth. You also have Floral Guard, which is just constant power. Although that actually does work for allies and it works for opponents as well, so you have to be careful. Let me actually triple check if it works for opponents. I believe it does, but let me just confirm. I have to open up PK3DS because I just got back to my apartment and I did not open it up yet. So give me 2 seconds while I check the ability move trait just to make sure that it is everything on the field. I guess I could technically change it to allies only, but I kind of like the downside of it being that it would potentially boost the opponent. I mean, let me just see what I'm just gonna keep it as what it was. So let's see what it was. If I could open this up, please. Holding Sun, okay, come on. Move stats, come on. What's it looking at? Floral Guard. So Floral Guard. Yeah, all Pokemon on the field. I'm gonna keep it as that. I like that. I like that despite how amazing the +1 defense and special defense is, if you're fighting against another grass type, you are gonna be boosting them up as well. But the advantage is you can also do that to your ally. Although, I mean, maybe I will change it to just allies. I'll do it to just allies. Yeah, I'll change that. So I'll do that. All allies. Make sure that also includes yourself. I believe it does. Just want to make sure. Okay, it does. So I just wanted to make sure. And that should be the Z effect should be heals. That is also accidentally incorrect. Little bugs like that will happen because it's really easy to miss something small like that. All right, so that's a good thing I checked it. Game text. Sorry, I should not be doing this live. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just open it up and then leave it open so I know what to do when the video's over. Floral, Flower Shield, I believe is the original name. 579. All right, I'll just leave that open on my other tab. So, as I was saying, Floral Guard's great, all right? And now that also only affects your side. So you can boost your allies up to 3 PP. So that's nice just to have as becoming super bulky. You can use it under grassy terrain, and you are just tanking hits, dude. You are super fat. Again, Ingrain plus Grassy Guard is probably the best combo because Grassy Guard will give you the defense boost. Ingrain will give you the healing. So essentially with Ingrain and Grassy Guard, you're getting the Ingrain health you're getting the grassy terrain health, you're getting the grassy terrain boost, and you're getting the grassy guard boost all at once, and the +1 special attack, +1 speed. Sorry, +1 special defense. So you're getting a calm mind boost, you're getting the +1 defense, you're getting the healing, double healing each turn. It's amazing, all right? It's great. The only downside is you can't switch out after that, so you really got to commit to what you're doing, otherwise you might accidentally get your Venusaur killed. So yeah, that's great. You also already covered Floral Guard. You have Sleep Powder early on, actually relatively early. It's really good on Solar Rush sets in the sun. So sleep moves all last 2 turns besides Hypno's signature move. That one technically it lasts 2 turns, but it lasts 2 full turns, even when it's priority. So the way sleep works is if you have a 2-turn sleep move that will always last 2 turns, if you outspeed the opponent, you only get 1 turn to set up. If you're slower than the opponent, you get 2 full turns to set up. But it is set 2 turns. So say, for example, you're in the sun and you're outspeeding something and you click Sleep Powder on a Charizard, whatever it is, okay? Click Sleep Powder on Charizard. You only have 1 turn of sleep, which is still plenty. I mean, that's a guaranteed, no matter what, you will be able to get a setup move off. You can get that Swords Dance off. You can get that Ingrain off, whatever you want to click. You know, you can get that attack off. You can get the Toxic Spike layer up, whatever the fuck you want to do. It's great to have that. And of course, if you're slower, which if you're not in Solar Rush, you'll be slower than a lot of things. Not that you're super slow, because you are not. Also, that's another thing, is that Mega Venusaur is slightly slower, just because, you know, the more weight is added onto it from the flowers and stuff. I think it makes sense. And also, Base Venusaur appreciates the speed tier with the Solar Rush, but Mega Venusaur doesn't need it as much, so I just figured, you know, drop speed even more. Logically, it should be really slow. I mean, I could have dropped it even more if I wanted to, but their stats are very good as is, so. Yeah. I already covered growth. Vine Lashes is a very, very powerful physical move, so that is 35 base power per hit, and it's 2 hits, and it does -1 defense each hit. So at first, it's slightly weaker than, I think it's slightly stronger than Seed Bomb, but the benefit is that it hits twice, so, you know, it bypasses the Grass Berry, it bypasses Sturdy. I couldn't think of the Grass Berry, it helped my head. Rindo. It bypasses Rindo Berry, it bypasses Sturdy, it bypasses Multi-Skill, etc., etc. You guys get the point. And then obviously you're getting -2 defense by the end of the move, and then your second Vine Lashes will be even more powerful. So that's a great thing for physical Venusaur as well, especially because Mega Venusaur has more special attack, 9 more special attack. Not a huge difference, but, you know, something worth noting. So your physical move pool is also better. Besides having access to Weather Ball, on the Solar Rush sets, your physical move pool is better because you have Earth Power, and then a bunch of physical ground moves, and then you have the only other special move you have. All you need is Earth Power and Weather Ball. To be honest, it's literally all you need. You have Natural Gift, which can become any type in the game. It's a special move, 1-time base power. That's great to have just as an option. You got Hidden Power, but overall your physical sets are better in terms of coverage, because you have, despite not having Weather Ball, you will have rock moves, you will have ground moves, you will have steel moves and dark moves and fighting with takedown, and you got a lot more coverage, right? They also have Dragon Dance, because they've been given Dragon Dance to pretty much every reptilian Pokemon. And for those of you who are saying it's a frog, it's a monster, dude. This is not a frog. Yes, I know it hops in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. It has frog traits for sure. It looks kind of like a frog. It has the warts. It has the body plan of a frog, roughly. But look, it has fucking cat ears, and it literally has solar in the name. Like, it's definitely reptilian. It's like, you know, it's frog-like, just like how it's cat-like, and it's dinosaur-like. You know, it's a monster, dude. It's a Gen 1 1998 fucking monster. It's not. I don't like when people try to attribute actual animals, like, it's a pet peeve of mine. A lot of the Gen 1 designs aren't just animals. They have strong animal inspirations, but like, they aren't objectively animals. Obviously, Blastoise is just a lizard, turtle. You know, Charizard is a dragon, but Venusaur is not just a frog. That's a very unnecessary tangent. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Otherwise, you have Dual Seb Rapid Constrict is nice. That's 60 base power, and that traps the opponent for 6 turns, or 12. Let me actually triple check what I changed it to. I believe it should be 6. Yeah, so 6 turns, and that deals 12% of the HP. So that, like, I know it sounds weak, but that will add up. 12% HP each turn will add up quickly. So if you have Wrap, and then you got the, you know, the Protect and the Leech Seed and all that stuff, you'll really start to, like, get, what am I trying to say? You'll start to rack up damage really quickly. You can also use that with Toxic. So you can use Toxic plus Rat plus Leech Seed plus Grass. You can be Starly as fuck if you wanted to. You can just do residual damage and just kill things. Obviously, though, in the Grassy Guard, with the Grassy Guard boost, you're also getting a 50% boost to your grass moves. So you're probably going to want to abuse that as well, but you don't have to. You know, play however you want. Everything's valid. You know, you can totally run Starly sets with Toxic. You also have access to some other utility stuff. So you have Leech Seed, like I said. You have access to Toxic Spikes by TM. Acid Reflux is nice. You know, you got a lot of good stuff there. Dragon Dance is really niche, but you could run like Dragon Dance Solar Rush if you wanted to. That could honestly be like pretty viable. Although I'd rather just probably click Swords Dance. So yeah, but that's cool. I would probably just run like a regular Dragon Dance Venusaur with Floral Shroud. You're immune to Intimidating status. You can just run like Dragon Dance and get a couple boosts up, and you'll be pretty quick at +2 speed because Dragon Dance and Quiver Dance both give +1 special attack / attack and defense. And then you can click that twice. Those are 2 PP. So you can get a +2 speed and +2 attack. That's pretty cool to have as an option. I just thought it kind of fit. A lot of the reptilian-esque Pokemon have Dragon Dance. You know, he's a dinosaur-looking guy. You got Sword in the name, so Dragon Dance is fine. Otherwise, you just have really powerful stat moves. You got your Frenzy Plant, Leaf Storm, which are 150 base power moves that lower your offensive stats by 2. Frenzy Plant being physical, Leaf Storm being special. So these are all of the moves that I have that do that. So there's tons of them. Pretty much every Pokemon gets at least one. Hyper Beam and Giga Impact also do the same thing, but they're even stronger because they're like normal type, and I just think it's cool because come on, these moves should be so soft. And they're strong. These are Hyper Beam, Giga Impact. These moves should be good, and they are good now. They're extremely good. So yeah, that's nice to have. Really, really powerful. Good options for sure. Otherwise, you just have a lot of self-explanatory stuff. You got your powerful stab moves like Seed Flare, Cora Blast, Power Whip, Solar Blade, Solar Beam. Yeah, not too much else to cover, I don't think. Big one actually, a couple big ones. So I missed a few. Sweet Scent and Stun are just good utility for the mid game. Sweet Scent gives -1 special defense and -1 special attack to the opponents, so that's nice to have. But a big thing that I missed is Floral Healing. So Floral Healing heals 2/3 HP under grassy terrain. So Grassy Guard, Mega Venusaur with Floral Healing is tanking it. Even Base Venusaur or even Ivysaur can run, grassy terrain sets or grassy terrain teams with Sweet Scent. Sorry, what am I saying? Floral Healing. You don't need the Grassy Guard, but obviously with Mega Venusaur, Grassy Guard is much better. So Solar Rush Venusaur has Synthesis. Mega Venusaur with Grassy Guard has access to Floral Healing. So it can choose. You gotta weigh your options and choose. I would say another advantage of Floral Healing is that it doesn't decrease HP it doesn't heal less under any condition. Meanwhile, Synthesis heals less under rain and I believe sand as well. I know it heals less under rain. It heals only 1/3 HP, which is not bad, but it's a pretty significant drop. So it might be worth considering. That's all. You have dual stat priority. You got Leaf Flurry, Sludge Shot on the special side, and you have Seed Shot on the physical side. So that's nice to have because you're pretty slow. So it's nice to have that priority option. Again, Leech Seed's great. I think that's about it. Not too much to cover. You got Crunch for coverage. I already covered Knockoff, Ironhead, Stopping Tantrum, Earthquake, Bulldoze. You guys see it all here. Rock Slide. You guys can read. I'll give you guys some credit. I don't have to read every little thing. Hopefully. I think that's about it. Pretty self-explanatory. Everything else just very, very solid, very, very reliable, very, very good. Really, really cool. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I will be recording Typhlosion next, and then actually I have to put them in the files because I did them on the weekend, but I was gone for the weekend, so I couldn't be on my computer or my home computer. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be back for more later. Thanks for listening.